Let's begin with Afghanistan, where intensified violence is fueling concerns that the country may again become a hub of instability and terrorism across South Asia and beyond. Dozens of groups that have been present since the Taliban's last turn in power are again operational, looking for opportunities to expand their reach. People are being killed in explosions across the war-torn country, and there is blood and fear everywhere. A report.
On August 6, a massive explosion in a busy shopping street in Afghanistan's capital left 8 people dead and numerous others injured. The bomb exploded in a western district of the city, where members of the minority Shiite Muslim community regularly meet. According to a Taliban police district commander who was present at the site, the explosion was caused by a roadside bomb hidden in a pot. Islamic State terrorist group took responsibility for the bomb blast. The attack came ahead of Ashura, a commemoration of the martyrdom of Hussein, a grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, which is marked mainly by Shiite Muslims.
تلفات زخمی خود زیاد بود حساب نمیشد دیگه از دور نمیموند دیگه ما شاهد صحنه بودیم دیدیم همه رنجرها میورداشت میبرد شفاخانه.
The war-torn country has been witnessing a series of terror attacks staged by Islamic State group in the last few weeks. The group has been targeting the Afghan security forces, religious minorities, including Shia Muslims and Sikhs. Just a day before the incident, 8 people were killed and 18 wounded in a blast near a Shiite Muslim religious gathering in Kabul. Eyewitnesses reported that when the explosion occurred, members of the minority sect, including women and children, were engaged in annual mourning rituals. Islamic State does not control any territory in Afghanistan, but it has sleeper cells that have been attacking religious minorities in the country, as well as patrols by the ruling Taliban. Though the Taliban group claims to have protected the country since taking power in August last year and largely eliminated the Islamic State's local offshoot, the international officials and analysts believe the risk of resurgence in attacks remains.
The fact that explosions have been occurring in Shia mosques, that Shias are being targeted in Talibanized Afghanistan should not surprise anybody. Initially, because the Taliban had managed to recruit Shia commanders at the behest of Iran, people thought this would be a more inclusive Taliban. I think that has been shown to be false quite some time ago, and so if in Taliban ruled Afghanistan, Shiites are being targeted, it's not surprising at all.
Since the Taliban group took over Kabul, bombings and attacks have been the norm, and unabated human rights abuses, including the constant killing of civilians and the destruction of mosques and temples, have escalated fear in the territory. The Taliban often refers to the Islamic State of Khorasan as its worst foe, while in reality, the two organizations work together to foment terrorism in Afghanistan. A UNSC report few months back reveals that Islamic State Khorasan or ISIS-K is recruiting fighters from the Eastern Turkestan Islamic Movement and the Turkestan Islamic Party, among other foreign terrorist groups. It aims to position itself as the chief rejectionist force in Afghanistan and to expand into neighboring Central and South Asian countries. The UN member states are concerned that if Afghanistan descends into further chaos, some Afghan and foreign violent extremists may shift allegiances to Islamic State.
the Islamic State was never absent from Taliban. The Taliban is very clear. As long as somebody does not challenge them, they are willing to let them survive. The target of the Islamic State, essentially the first target, is basically Shiite Muslims. So they have been going after the Shiite Muslims, and Taliban has no problem with the Islamic State of going after Shiite Muslims. The fact that Ayman al-Zawahiri was caught in Afghanistan is also testimony to the fact that the Taliban's promise of not letting Afghan soil be used for terrorist purposes against the Americans, that has also turned out to be false. So the Taliban are breaking one promise after the other.
The war scene in Afghanistan is diverse and multifaceted, marked by rivalry among jihadist organizations and competition for recruitment. The impacts go beyond the borders of Afghanistan. As a result, the situation in Afghanistan continues to demand great attention.